Sarvamangalamangale Shive Sarvarthasadike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Friday is the day in the week that we remember the cosmic mother, Devi Mata. Why? Because during the weekend we are going to be making her very, very busy, isn't it? And we want her there to be for us. So at least on Friday we must remember Mother. And the cosmic mother is there even in our own mother. So you see that at least one day you go and tell Mummy, thank you Mummy for being what you are. Because Mom is all love. And you must sometimes give her a break. In the same way, Devi Mata, the cosmic mother, when her children are all busy with the toys of the world, the objects of the world, and they are busy playing, and they don't even think about her, or they become proud, angry, arrogant, then Devi Mata, who as nature is watching over us all the time, she gets hidden in nature. But her love is always there for us, even when we don't recognize her, when we don't look out for her. But in the world also, when problems come, troubles come, difficulties come, who do we turn to first? It is Mother only, no? Same way, when Devi Mata had become all pervading and merged with nature, there was a rakshasa called as Durgam, an asura. And this asura had caused, his name Durga means very difficult, terrible. And he had created so much havoc in the world. So many people were troubled. The earth was being troubled. He had destroyed the environment. He had destroyed everything. And when we destroy the environment, the trees, the animals, the creatures, and the people are suffering. There is famine, there is drought, means either there is somewhere floods or there are other places where it is dry. The earth becomes barren, it doesn't have trees and therefore cannot hold water and cannot give us fruits and vegetables. People were hungry, people were suffering, people didn't know what to do. At that time, everybody remembered Devi Ma and prayed to her, Ma, your children are suffering. Will you not come to us? And Devi Mata appeared, and it is said that 9 days and 9 nights she wept, just like Mummy when she sees her children unwell. Whole night she remains awake, crying for her child. And it is her tears that became the rivers, that filled up the reservoirs, the lakes, and then the ocean. And the world again became green. And she came, and this Durgam Rakshas, she destroyed him, and she removed the difficulties of the world. Now when she did that, there was another Rakshasa called as Tarakasur, another Asura. And these Asuras, they do terrible things because they are selfish and they are greedy. And whenever we become selfish and greedy, we destroy nature, we harm the mother who loves all her children, and we snatch away things from other children. This mother, when they saw all the devatas, everyone pleaded to her that there is another Rakshasa, his name is Tarakasur. And he has, through his austerity, through his tapas, he has got the boon that only the son of Shiva and Devi will be able to destroy him. No one else. Even Shivji will not be able to. Now he had got that boon, and now that he knew that Devi had merged with the infinite and she would not come and Shivji would not marry anyone other than Devi, then how can the son be born who is going to destroy this Tarakasur? So they pleaded to her that, "Oh mother, please come back to us in the form and give us those amazing sons that will, or those who will remove the troubles of everybody and remove this Tarakasur from this world." She smiled and she said, to get Shivji to married again is not going to be easy. But they said, "Mother, what is impossible for you? Please come back in the form. Please come back to earth. Please come back home." And Devi Ma was born in the house of Himavan, the king of the Himalayas, and she was born as Gauri Parvati. And even now when she was born as Parvati, she was so sweet, she was so virtuous, she had such good quality, she was so kind to everybody, she was so loving. And when she started growing up, one day Narad Muni came to Himavan's palace. Seeing such a great saint come, he made him sit on his seat, worshipped him, offered him food and clothing, and then said, "Will you bless my daughter?" Naradji knew that it is Jagajanani, the mother of the universe, that has come as the daughter of Himavan. And when that little Parvati came there and bowed down to Naradji, Naradji looked at her, knowing that she is the mother of the universe come as a daughter, and she is giving respect to Naradji as her guru. Himavan said, "Can you tell me the destiny of my daughter?" He said, "Your daughter, what is her destiny? She is going to be so famous. She is going to be the most devoted wife. And father, mother will get a great name because of what she is going to do. And many, many women, for eons, for generations, for millenniums, praying to her, will become great wives and mothers. We said, but is everything fine in her life? He said, yes, she will be a most wonderful wife. But what type of a husband is she going to get? She's going to be very dear to her husband. But who is going to be her husband? He says it looks like her husband is one who has got no father, no mother. Who wears no clothes. Just one skin on his waist. And he has got snakes on him. He is a yogi. They got so that she is so beautiful, is going to marry to such. But that little Gauri, Parvati, understood that Naraji is saying that in her destiny, she will get back that Shiva that she had lost in her previous incarnation. They said, how can my daughter get married to such a person? He said, but if such a person is Lord Shiva, because whatever qualities I read are the qualities of Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva is dressed like this, even these falls become his glory, his virtues. But Parvati had already understood. Nobody knew why she was smiling away. So he said that make sure that she gets married to Shiva. But he looked at Parvati and said, to get married to Lord Shiva, who has got no desire in his heart, who is a person who has mastered his mind and who lives with the bare minimum, and he lives in tapas, austerity. You will also have to do austerity. And that little Parvati, as she grew into a beautiful maiden, she did such austerities to win Shiva as her husband. Even the 7 rishis came to test her and told her, why are you, such a young woman, living in the forest, leaving your palace and doing such difficult fasting, etc. She says, what to do? Ever since my Guru Narad Muni has told me that if I do these austerities, I will get Shiva as my husband. They laughed at her. They said, that Narad Muni, what advice has he given you? To do all these austerities to marry Lord Shiva? Do you know he lives where? Do you know he's got ashes on himself? He has snakes and he's got matted hair. And do you know how he looks? And you, a beautiful princess, want to marry such a Shiva? That Narad Muni has instructed you wrongly. And she, even when she was told like this about Lord Shiva, about the one whom she wants to marry, her God, her Lord, they were testing her. They said, why don't you marry Lord Vishnu? He is so handsome. He has got all the wealth. And he will keep you so royally, and at the same time, he is so loving. She said, I know, but my heart is for Shiva. I will marry him. They said, you are being foolish. And what are you listening to that Narad Muni? But her faith in her Guru's words, she was not swayed away, distracted, or led away. She said, I will marry only Lord Shiva. And when she passed the test of the Saptarishis, Shiva came to her, and Shiva and Parvati got married. And their marriage is another story I will tell you sometime. It is such a wonderful story. Nobody had such a wedding like Shiva and Parvati. And Shiva and Parvati had a son called Kartikeya. And he finally destroyed Tarkasur along with his many asuras and saved the world. And Parvati sent her young son with all her power. And Lord Shiva giving him the confidence to go and fight with Tarakasur, so that the children would learn that they also have the responsibility for the world. And parents bring up their children strong and confident, ever ready to fight against all evil within and without. As mother, she sent Kartikeya fully equipped to fight with Tarakasur. Kartikeya came back victorious. But as you know, Parvati had a very special son that she made with her own hands and put life into that lovely child that she had made from the turmeric that she had on her body, so that her son would be hers only. And he turned out, this Gauri Sutta turned out to be so faithful to his mother, but was not ready to listen to anybody. And when his head was chopped, when any child of the mother, even if it is to correct him, when Ganesha was standing there guarding, but was not ready to listen to Lord Shiva that he can come in because he is the husband of Parvati. But Ganesha was arrogant at that time. My mother has said, nobody can come in. Nobody can come in. Even you cannot come in. You cannot come in. And when Mother Parvati saw Ganesha's head on the ground, she took the form of Kali. And she took this form even to kill certain rakshasas who were harming the children of the world. She took a terrible form. So terrible that she looked horrific. But she didn't care how she looks when she has to protect her children out of her love. she takes up even the most terrible form, and she does not care how she looks, because all she wants to do is love her children and destroy anyone who harms her children. Whether it is her Ganesha, whether it is all of us. She takes the form of Kali, her tongue sticking out, so her clothes are all shattered, and she doesn't cover herself and her feelings. She just goes out to help her child. I do not know. Have you seen this Kali roop of your mother? I have. My loving, gentle mother, always looking so beautiful. But one day, one huge, bearded person accusing me for something that I had not done, almost coming to hit me, and telling me, shouting at me. My mother, who was on the 3rd floor, when she heard that her son is being shouted at that time she did not know what was happening. She just called out, "You come up immediately." I had not done anything wrong. I was not afraid of that huge person. But I was very, very sad, hurt that he told me that I had done something which I would never do in my life. And I was shouted at. I was almost beaten. And I went running up the steps. And my mother, who had just had her bath, her hair was all open, she was in a gown. Never would she step out of her room without her proper clothes. When she saw me coming up and I saw her, I was a little child, I started weeping. And when she saw my tears and I told her, "He's telling I did something which I'll never do." And she said, "I know you will never do that." Because if I had done something wrong, she would have scolded me. But when she found that somebody had tried to hurt me, somebody had shouted at me, somebody had said something false about me, she didn't care that she was in her gown, her hair was all wet and shriveled, shrieking away, her tongue outside. She went rushing down, and that 6-footer, I could hear him squirm when she said, "How dare you say this to my son?" At that time, I know my mother did not care for how she looked. My mother did not care how she was dressed. I saw her as Kali descending on that Tarakasur, who brought tears to my eyes for something that I had not done. Therefore, we invoke the blessings of Mother that give us always that strength, that courage, that daring to face all difficulties and challenges in our life. For we know the strength, the protection of our Mother is always with us. And she has given us the ability and courage to face all life situations like she has done in her life. Not only facing all difficulties in her life, all challenges in her life, all problems in her life, but ever ready to remove and help the children remove their problems and the problems and difficulties of others around them. This is our mother, Mother Parvati. Let us invoke her blessings in her different forms. Let us sing to her. Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagannmata. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagannmata. Devi Jagannmata Mam Pahi Jagannmata. Devi Jagannmata Mam Pahi Jagannmata. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagannmata. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagannmata. Devi Jagannmata Mam Pahi Jagannmata. Jai Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Devi Jagannmata. बोलिए जगदम्बे माता की जय। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।